Hello everyone, Nasram here. This weekend, the experimental server was open for every PC players who set their language to English. During these few days, we got to try out some of the upcoming features. In this video, I will show the power of Cunning 2.0, the brand new cell called Pulse. Pulse, instead giving you random crit chance, it gives you a guaranteed crit on 10 to 5th hit based on perk level. On plus 6 is 5 hits, which synergize with Hellion Unique effect on X and Hammer, while on plus 3 it's 8 hits, which synergize with Hellion Unique effect on Sword, Strikers and Warpike. So this perk is very strong on weapons with a big attack or fast weapons. Let's start it with fast weapons. Hellion Unique effect requires different amount of hits for each weapons. This benefits only fast weapons, so Chainblades, Sword, Repeaters and Warpike and maybe Strikers. Some of the weapons has attacks which can be used to crit with Pulse, but doesn't stack Hellion Unique effect like Repeater, Salvo and Full Bore, Warpike Payload and Hammer Explosions. Pulse at least plus 3 will be a must-have on X, since you want to crit the Grim Onslaught, but against Frost Behemoths, Hellion X also nice, because Pulse 6 aligns perfectly with the Hellion Unique effect, except if the Hellion expires, which might not make it too good. So I can highly recommend Pulse on Hellion Sword, Warpike and Strikers, since these weapons Hellion Unique effect procs after 8 hits, so it perfectly aligns with Pulse. Repeater is also nice, but only if you're using Marksman, since it counts for Hellion Unique effect, so with Pulse plus 1 you can crit every Hellion Unique effect, since the Repeater Prince procs after 10 hits. With Chainblades instead Hellion, I recommend Pulse on Boreus Momentum build, since the main goal is to crit every slam, and since Hellion's serrated playstyle doesn't build that many stacks and has inbuilt fixed crit, which supports Hellion Unique even better, then Boreus is clearly a better pick. Speaking of which, with Pulse, if you explode the Pangar Unique effect, every split will crit, making it extremely strong. Though in group, other players might break your Pangar mark before you can get the crit, which is bad. But in group, other players can break your Pangar mark when you set up the crit, which is great. This is the same with Repeater Salvo. Every Salvo hit crits, but stuff like Full Bore, Hammer Explosion, Godhand Laser doesn't crit all the way, only the first hit. Out of everything, I have to point out the Sword. With Ardent Cyclone and Hellion Unique effect, Sword can dish out incredibly high damage, since every Hellion Unique effect will crit. On top of this, if you manage to get the finisher on fixed crit, it deals really high damage. But in trials, where you can't just simply use Hellion Sword with Cyclone every week, you can do the same just with Avenging Overdrive parry, which is probably super hard to do, especially constantly, is Charged Sword Focus, because it's not just hard to keep the behemoth inside the circle, but it have to explode when your crit is ready. Also, in general hunts, you might want to take Cascade for healing and Shield to stay alive during Cyclone. And if you're taking damage often, then you can change Predator to Cunning. But with this damage, behemoths will die after an interrupt or stagger, so you're not gonna take that much damage. In conclusion, Pulse is an extremely strong cell, especially in the hands of a skilled player, because you have to pay attention to the Pulse buff and use the strong attack when it's ready. When you have high crit chance, like in Escalation or with Warpike Worstping, Pulse will fall behind Horde, since the higher your crit chance, the less it will crit instead of a normal hit. Let me explain this. If you have 50% crit chance, Pulse turn normal hits to crit in 50% of the cases, because turning crit to crit doesn't do anything in this game. So with this, I just wanted to say it looks very nice to stack Cunning crit damage with Pulse crit, but instead Cunning stacking raw damage worth more. The only case where Cunning plus Pulse is useful is probably X, since it cannot use Berserker, so it has more cell slots than other weapons. And because X has the biggest hit tied with Chainblades in the game, I want that extra crit damage on it. So with Cunning and Pulse 6, crit has 1.95 multiplier, dealing near double damage. But let's check this with Chainblades. Here's a slam with Berserker 6, and here's a slam with Cunning 6. Let's see the DPS comparison. But as you can see with the DPS comparison, the DPS was almost the same. Probably crit might be better, since in trials you can use potions which gives extra raw damage, making crit stronger. That's it about boosts. Boosts and the new event will coming May 20. Thank you guys for watching. See ya!